friends, it's your girl Emily Curl hanging out in my studio at my home here in Brooklyn, New York. We're not at iHeart, but we're still gonna keep the interviews going. So today we're joined by country music singer, songwriter, self-made guitarist. We have Payton Smith today. Check it out. Payton, hi. Oh, yeah.
What's happening?
You have a guitar.
I have a guitar. I do.
Are you gonna sing us something on this FaceTime?
I will.
What?
Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah, I'm here for it.
That's kind of what I do.
Yeah, it's true. Have you had a lot of extra time in this quarantine? Are you writing some songs you're singing?
I am, yeah. A lot of extra time. You know, like we've been doing a lot of like live streams and stuff like that, which has been kind of fun. And then a little bit of writing. You know, you can't physically like go into town and co-write. So I've just been doing like a bunch of Skype and Zoom writes. So.
Nice, some virtual songwriting.
Virtual songwriting.
I'll take it. And you said you're in Nashville right now, right?
I am, yeah. It's like 70. You know, it's 77 degrees
Oh.
right now here. So I was just like, you know what? I've been inside like all week, and like it's been raining. It's just been kind of nasty weather. So today, when I like walked outside, I was like, no, I'm like doing everything I can like outside.
To be in the, yeah, I don't blame you at all. We had a nice day up here in New York too. So it was like in like the 60s, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
So then a nice long walk this morning, got some fresh air. It's important though, you know?
It's important. It's important to get fresh air. It's important, I think, be outside. You know, especially during this time. I think it's good to be able to just at least get out, get some fresh air. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to talk to you because I'm from Georgia. My sister lives in Nashville, so I like grew up in
Really?
country music. And
I
it's
love it.
I mean, it's so cool to me to be so young and have so much success. Tell me a little bit. I mean, it's an interesting story too, right? Of how you sort of came to this position. Walk me through your timeline. How did this come about to get where you are right now?
I wanted to play music ever since I was 3. Like that was it. That was all I wanted to do. I mean, there's pictures of me like being 3 years old walking around with a guitar, and just there was nothing else in my mind. I just from that I had no other interest. It was just music. That just felt like that was just put on my life, and it was just something that was in my veins I could never shake. So you know, I would look on the back of all these records and all these records I loved, and they were coming out of Nashville. So you know, it was one of those things where I wanted to go to Nashville,
Mm-hmm.
and I told my family, I was like, hey, can we go on a vacation in Nashville when I was 14? So we went up there on a family vacation. I'd been writing songs then, and I mean, they were all terrible, but so,
Got to start somewhere.
Got to start somewhere, you know. And so we went up to Nashville, and I wanted to play at the Bluebird Cafe, and it was closed because it was Labor Day weekend. So I was just like, okay, I'll just sit in the lobby and I'll play guitar of the hotel. I was just going to sit in the lobby of the hotel. So sat down there for 4 hours and just played. Because I just loved playing wherever I went. Whether
Of course.
It was school, wherever it was, I just loved playing. So I guess my dad tells the story a little bit better. I don't remember there being 40 people there, but he said that he looked down from the atrium and said there was about 30 to 40 people there. And one of the people in that crowd happened to be a session musician.
No way.
Yeah, and so he came up and he was like, man, I really want to introduce you to a couple people in the music industry. And so of course I was just like, let's go, like gung-ho, like let's go. So the next day he introduced me to a guy named Buddy Cannon, who produced all of the Kenny Chesney records.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then went from that to meeting with Mike Dungan at Universal, and Brian Wright at Universal, and Mark Wright at Show Dog. So we had 3 meetings all in one day, so it was pretty overwhelming. But I'll never forget, man, like sitting in Universal and hearing like Mike come in and just listen to a couple of songs. He was like, okay, he's like, I get it. It's like, I know where this is going.
What a crazy feeling.
Yeah, because I'd never been around people that had been, that knew about music like that. So I ended up choosing to just stick with Buddy Cannon, just because he was such a great song guy, and I was just learning how to write. I didn't know who I was, the artist. I didn't know what I wanted to say. And Buddy was the guy that found stuff like There Goes My Life and Anything But Mine and these amazing songs, So
yes, such good songs.
I still give him all the credit for teaching me how to look for a great song and what makes a great song. So,
totally.
The years after that were just we're going back and forth to Nashville with my family and learning, co-writing, and then it would be a long weekend in Nashville, and then from there it would turn into a week, you know, in Nashville, and then a month in Nashville, and then over 3 years, we ended up deciding, man, if we're really going to do this, there was a lot of markers showing that my family was just like, we're willing to support you, and so they all moved up here, which is pretty incredible.
And you guys have been in Nashville how long now?
We've been in Nashville for about 2 years.
Wow.
So it's been a 5 year, close to 6 year long journey. So while that doesn't sound very long, it was
a lot packed in the years, I can tell.
A lot, yeah. Yeah, so it's funny, you know, when people ask, like, what did you do with your teenage years? I'm like, I wrote songs. That was it.
I was in Nashville, yeah.
I was in Nashville. I was learning who I wanted to be as an artist, and that takes time, you know, and but yeah, and then ended up signing with Big Machine about a year ago.
So exciting! Congrats, that's major.
Thank you. Yeah, it just it's a long journey, but every part of it, you know, there's ups and downs, but every part of it is why I'm here today, you know. And
you're talking about you grew up on country music. Who do you credit as some of your biggest influences and inspirations when you like take into account of the artist you want to be and the songs that you want to write?
I think for me, man, I remember the first time I ever heard Keith Urban. It was just the energy. I remember watching him live, and he would shred on guitar, like just ridiculous. And it's just, I don't know, there was an energy that he played with that I loved. So definitely Keith Urban from a record standpoint.
Yep.
And a live standpoint, guitar standpoint. And then I started getting to Eric Church when I was a little bit older and loved the songwriting.
I love Eric Church too.
Yeah, just songwriting wise, I think he's the GOAT. I think he's the greatest of all time. He's just got a way of just making things, saying something that you've heard a million times before, but saying it in a way that you've never heard it put that way before.
Yeah.
I love that. So Keith and Eric were huge influences, and then my mom was playing a ton of 90s country. I mean, like a ton of 90s country. I mean, she raised me on Clint Black, Reba, Shenandoah, Brooks and Dunn. There was a ton of Brooks and Dunn played in my house. And then my dad was sort of he was more Metallica and AC/DC.
So you had some rock influences.
Yeah. So all of those things, you know, I mean, I think you're a reflection of your influences, and every bit of those artists or genres kind of influence the way that I, who I am today.
Yeah. And so I want to talk about your music now, because you released 3 songs this year, no?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, we put out 2 songs this year, and then we put out 4 in October.
Nice. Okay, so we've got some new music. Tell me about. I love Creeks Don't Rise. I have to say that's probably my favorite now.
Thank you.
But tell me about the songs you're putting out.
Yeah. So it's funny. A lot of people have been asking, are you trying to go towards a record? And I don't know if we are. I don't know if we want to do a record yet. I love the idea of just putting out music constantly, or maybe not constantly, but every couple of months, every 3 months, putting out something new, putting out a body of work like an EP or 2 songs or whatever. Because I just think that's a cool way. I know it interests me when artists do that, and so a lot of these songs, all these were songs we recorded them back in February a year ago. So it's been a while. February of 2019. So all the songs that we put out were all recorded then, and it's interesting. Like, you're trying to stay ahead of the curve too. Format's going to change too. So it's staying ahead of the curve and staying true to who you are and capturing everything you want to capture. So while that might take a minute to figure out in the studio, that's what we really tried to capture with the production, at least, of all these songs, and even lyrically. There's a song that we put out in February called Ready Set Summer, which has been around since it's been around since 2017. It's been around for a while. That's when we wrote the song, and it just always lasted. I never got tired of playing it. It was always fun to play live. And then when we got in the studio, we were just like, I can't not record this song, because it just feels good.
It's so fun. It's such a fun one.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I love the music. I can't wait to hear more, and we're all rooting for you. This is going to be fun.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Payton. Have a great rest of your day. Hang in there in Nashville. Keep writing those songs.
I will hang up there in New York.
Thanks. Bye, Payton. I'll see you soon.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure you keep tuning in for all of the virtual interviews we have going on. And don't forget to stream all of Payton Smith's music on iHeartRadio. We'll see you next time. Bye.